Welcome back to another episode of Power Rangers Lore. Today we're going to talk about the none other than the dastardly and ruthless, insanely violent bounty hunter, Darkonda. Now, what do we know about him, and what exactly makes him so sinister? Well, we know that he has roughly been involved in hundreds of different wars, assassination, and crimes throughout the galaxy because he has his little talents in everything. He likes to basically be incarnation of evil itself. He doesn't like to leave anything alone, especially if it's evil. No, especially if it's good. He likes to even push against the force of evil. He kind of turns against it sometimes to basically make sure that he always comes out on top. Now, there's very little to know about his past, where he came from, the like, and we don't ever see another alien race similar to him and the like either. But we know that he becomes, throughout the time as a big bounty hunter. He has acquired extensive knowledge of countless locales throughout the Milky Way galaxy, connections to the underground criminal underworld on various planets, even on Earth itself. Now, we also know that he is hired by Dark Specter 15 years before Power Rangers in Space takes place to travel to KO-35 and kidnap Heron, who would later be revealed to be Astronema. Now, he would, not while he's there, kill Astronema's mother and father and essentially hand over a Corone to Ecliptor to be trained into becoming Dark Specter's heir apparent and what we know as Astronema today. Now, he kind of disappears for a little bit, but he has a lot of connections to Corone's family and home planet. Now, besides killing off the entire population and her entire family, he has a certain way of just doing. He didn't just cut them down or invade. No, he let an infestation decimate the population. This was the Brillian bug. Now, what does the Brillian bug do? That's a really good question. Well, it basically stings you and turns you into a monster. Yeah, so basically your own friend is going to kill you later on. It's like a zombie infestation essentially going on there, and it's pretty gruesome in a way. It's not like the nicest way a Power Ranger thing is usually shown, and it basically shows that he's going to basically take over from there. Now, after the planet is completely evacuated because of the Brilliant bug infection, he makes it his home base. Why not? He's unchallenged, he loots it, he pillages it, he goes, whatever, I'm going to take over whatever's left. And he basically kind of keeps track of the people who evacuates it, where they're at and going to be, but doesn't really involve himself. He's got a whole kingdom to himself now. Now, he would later encounter Ecliptor several different times, and both would basically take an extreme dislike to each other. While Ecliptor is more honorable in the sense while still being evil, Darkonda is not honorable. He will attack from behind and destroy by any means necessary. Screw honor as long as I get the job done, even if it's killing my own people. Now, there would not seem much to him until eventually he would come back into the forefront of the storyline and be made second in command, co-ranking with Ecliptor after he infected Carlos with the venom of a brilliant bug, which puts down a whole complete horror episode of fighting own Rangers against Rangers slowly being turned into monsters. It's pretty awesome, and it's a very awesome way to prove the fact that, hey, more things are going to go out there, especially with the fact that, he almost killed the Rangers in one little go, just by poisoning one of them. And he would also prove invaluable playing this art of deception while disguising himself as one of the rebels of KO-35 and convincing the rebels of KO-35 that the Power Rangers were behind the mysterious alien that was turning people into coral. Now, it would be later revealed that it is actually him disguising himself as one of their citizens, and essentially he'd be scared off. But it's he doesn't even directly have to fight. Now, several different times in this event, he is killed on screen before this, and it is shown that he keeps coming back, and it's not explained why. Well, apparently when he did the deal for Dark Specter, he makes a deal. His payment is to essentially get none other then 9 lives. He's essentially like a cat at this point. He's got 9 lives. He can be destroyed 9 times and come back 9 different times. And the last time of that would be his last time ever returning. Now, because of this, he's very cocky. And what he does is he starts to plan on killing both Astronema and Ecliptor. Starting with Ecliptor first, because he realizes that he could have full influence on Astronema if he just takes care of Ecliptor. And then once he's out of the way, he could basically kill her later on and then take over her Dark Fortress and move on from there. However, it becomes aware that Ecliptor kind of like figures out of Darkonda's true intentions, and that's when basically he calls him out. I was like, I will destroy you. And he goes, well, if you do that, Ecliptor, before you do that, I'm going to blackmail you and essentially reveal that what happened behind Astronema's origins, who she really is, how you were a part of it, and essentially, well, she'll kill me. I'll already be dead because of you, and then she'll destroy you. Ha! I win either way, and then you lose all trust in her. Even if she doesn't destroy you, she's never going to trust you again. Now, this would have many different secret conversations after this point with Dark Specter about Astronema, and even openly questions Astronema's loyalty, though he's immediately shot down by Dark Specter about her loyalty. Like, no, she's completely loyal to me. There is no reason to basically figure out, like, why would you suggest that? I know she's never going to betray me. Even if she does, I'll just destroy her. I'm Dark Specter. I'm literally the Grand Monarch of Evil itself. However, when Astronema does learn about her past, Darkonda suggests to Dark Specter that she should be destroyed along with Ecliptor. However, basically Dark Specter spent too much time and effort into her, so he does not basically give in immediately to the persuasion of Darkonda. He goes, well, she does need to be dealt with, but let's basically brainwash her, turn her into a part cyborg, and go from there. Now, when she does defect, essentially Darkonda takes full command over the Dark Fortress and starts basically doing his own thing. He is tasked at implanting cybernetics into her and also into Ecliptor. Now, suppressing all feelings of Ecliptor that he had for Astronema at that point, and turning both into pure evil constructs at this point that would, in his thought, would serve him, which would instantly backfire because once newly reprogrammed, she retook control of the Dark Fortress and threw him out despite his protests, and that she would have been destroyed without him. And essentially, I think he goes whining back to Dark Specter, and he's like, I don't care, she's my servant. I don't give a crap. You're just a pawn. And that's when he starts to make his own little plots even further. Now, he would disappear for some time, but would basically come back to serve her one last time and would enlist her aid. That was not exactly why. I think it's basically Dark Specter basically commands him to go at this point, and it's kind of more chafing that he's forced to serve her once more after doing essentially everything in his power to take over Fortress. So he starts looking for aid basically in other ways, and he basically looks towards the Dark Specter's universal conquest of what's going on there. He's had a lot of anger issues built up, and he kind of sees an opportunity in the sense of a world-killing missile. This is two missiles that are powerful enough to destroy an entire planet, basically planet Earth. Now he grabs one of them and flies around in a Velocifighter, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, a Velocifighter. And he basically pretends to take off, and he's like, oh yeah, I'll go deliver this to Earth. Does a U-turn and shoots it at Dark Specter in his attempt to go on, if I can't vacate the Dark Fortress, I'm going to take Dark Specter's throne and become the Grand Monarch of Evil. I've proven it. I'm the most evil being there is. Well, he does destroy Dark Specter after just firing. After he basically fires the shots and he hits Dark Specter, but basically Dark Specter's final comeuppance going, realizes he's been betrayed. He devours the ship. He just right down the ship and destroying the Vector and Darkonda with it, killing them both. And he's out of basic lives at this point. There's no way for him to come back. The missile explodes, and essentially he saves Earth by basically destroying the planet missiles that they had. Yeah, he saves Earth because he got greedy at the very end. So that is the last time we see of him on the screen. Now, on the split history in the comic books going on there, he is seen several different times, Basically, he is responsible for killing off of the family of Corone and basically handing off to Ecliptor, just like it's stated earlier. He is also basically a conniving jerk, and hasn't really changed much. He's shown more loyalty now with Dark Specter, and I think it's basically right now he has like power, so he doesn't need to be, and it's also seen as a possible level 6 target by the Omega Rangers on a planet called Brel. He's basically got a wanted poster, along with Elgar and the Machine Empire during this time. Now, however, none of them have been like Machine Empire and Elgar haven't shown up in the comic yet. We are getting levels of Dark Specter's United Alliance currently going forth, so it's pretty interesting to see there. And we have seen sitting him on his own personal throne, leading his own little army, and basically showing his rivalry off more with Ecliptor and making comments going like, "So, what are you gonna do? Your apprentice is weak," and he kind of like rubs that in because he has his own apprentice, and again, he thinks that one's gonna be the one that's gonna be in charge, and then he can control his apprentice to the fact that he basically trained him. Well, what actually happens is his apprentice gets defeated by Astronema, and it kind of really like irks him, and all this time and effort was wasted as basically the apprentice gets memory wiped because of severe damage to her brain. Now, he has died a grand total of 9 times. However, we only see a few on screen. We only see 7 of the 9 times on screen. Now, I'll list off all the ones here. He's killed in the battle once he gets Megazord. He's killed by Zane, the Silver Ranger. Accidentally walks into one of his own traps and basically dies. He's killed twice by Ecliptor. Yes, Ecliptor has killed him several times. The 6th and 7th, we have no idea. It's completely unknown. It's probably when he was away, helping off on other forces in major battles. It can probably be against other Rangers itself, like the Alien Rangers and the like, or against the Phantom Ranger. We don't know. And once by the Galactic Rover that was driven by Zane, he basically was run over. And in the final time by Dark Specter himself. So, that is essentially Darkonda. Now, let's go to his powers and abilities. Now, he has multiple forms. I'll let you know this. So, go with this. So, there's normal Darkonda. He's enhanced strength, durability. He's a great fighter, hand-to-hand combat, and weapons combat. He's pretty good speed. He can basically run at blur, basically sprints, but he doesn't do it very often. He has energy bolts he can fire from his hands. He has an orange laser from his left hand. He has the ability to shapeshift, which he has used several times. He calls chaos, and has forceful fusion, which he can fuse with different creatures and monsters, but always making sure to be the dominant mind inside. Now, he has a sword that is basically really sharp and can basically cut through near everything, and a growth potion. Now, he's given this potion by none other than Ecliptor, who tells him it's going to be a growth potion, but it does make him grow, but it turns into a mindless mutant, and he becomes crazy after that. Mainly because Ecliptor goes, "Well, I'm honorable. You can't be dealt with honor. You're just going to kill everybody and betray him." Now, there's also Super Darkonda. Now, he's much stronger, easily overpowering the Astro Delta Megazord, basically knocking it down with punches and basically blocking its stuff with spikes on his hands. And more durable than before, laser eyes, as well as being able to create monsters from dropping skulls on the ground after he's badly injured. So basically, he just is able to pull off body parts and grow things. Now, he still has a sword and his spikes and chains in this form, and it's pretty awesome looking. Now, here in the notes, it says that he is the first villain of Power Rangers who is pure evil without any redeeming qualities whatsoever, and not helped by any of his backstepping tendencies. And if you think about it, yeah, he's right. Even all the other villains, Lord Zed and Rita and all that, they have love. They have even some of them aren't willing to go too far. If you look at the Machine Empire, they have a family community where they care about their family and relative. Yeah, they'll betray one another sometimes, but they're all connected deeply to their family and have some redeeming qualities, like Sprocket and his wife, Gasket, and basically his old plots, but he still cares about his family and his mother. So it's every series before up to this point, even up to in Turbo, she has a family connections with her mother, also with her nephew and she just has this weird, like, sometimes funny connections where she's just kind of looking for love because she's looking for all these people to marry, even if they're monsters. So there's still redeeming qualities in there, unlike Darkonda, who has none apparently whatsoever. And it's kind of cool that he is pure evil entirely. Now, the last little note, you could have bought his suit back in 2003 when apparently they were selling off a bunch of different suits when it was changing hands from Sabin to Disney, and you could have bought it for $735. I would have easily dropped that money to got his suit because it is awesome looking. You can't hate it at all. So that is Darkonda. I hope you guys enjoyed. He has much more coming out in the comics, and we haven't seen anything, but I cannot wait at all. It's going to be awesome. Thank you very much, guys. May the power protect you always. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe at the end of this video. All your likes help me out, and all your watchers do too. Thank you very much, guys. I really like to discuss with you guys what your topics are. May the power protect you always.